Hello and welcome to Keep On Cybertrucking, a podcast where Cybertruck owners share their experiences, talk about all things EVs. We have Chase, Adeel, and Jerry here. My name is Eric. But guys, how you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Just been busy working.
I'm great. Here I am at the famous Tesla diner, so can't do any better.
There you go. Yeah, we have Jerry and Adeel are at the Tesla diner this evening. Adeel's having a nice meal. Jerry's having an intimate moment with Grok. But one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, and I think we have to open with today, is the fact that the Model S and the Model X have officially been discontinued, and the official Tesla X page announced that starting at the end of Q2, the Model S and the Model X will be permanently discontinued in order for them to use that floor space for Optimus and their robots. Kind of wanted to see your guys' thoughts. I'm going to say something real quick. I actually owned a Model S at one point, and my favorite Tesla that I always wanted was the X. So at this point, I probably won't get a brand new one ever. Maybe one day I'll get a used one, who knows? But I'm kind of sad to see both of those vehicles go, but I kind of understand where they're coming from. What do you guys think? What's your guys' take on
It's
on
still
that news?
not too late to get a Model X. You get free supercharging.
Yeah,
Get them butterfly doors. I know you. That's the whole reason why you want one.
I just want it to fly, you know? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody wants to throw me $100,000, then yeah, I would definitely go get one.
You could buy like 10.
Yeah, I agree with that, though. I also would like the X.
Well, you had an X, excuse me, you had an X as a loaner recently, right?
I did. I really like it. I love it, but yeah, it's kind of expensive. I still have 2015 Model S though, but that I agree with you. I would have liked the X, like for a long road trip. It would have been awesome for the whole family. But yeah, maybe I'll get a used one later on.
Compared to the Cybertruck, though,
The thing about the X, I had the range was accurate. In the Cybertruck, it's not accurate. If you know what I mean. The X says it's going to give you 350 miles. It's going to give you the whole 349 or whatever, And then the Cybertruck, I mean, I got a lot of modifications.
That's what I was gonna say.
Even when it's new, it's still not like exactly accurate. It's off by a little bit. You have to the limitations. You have to drive at 57.3 miles an hour to get that optimal range. That's what I've picked up from it. But
yeah,
it's sad to see them go. It's the end of an era. I mean, is the Cybertruck next?
Well, that's something that I wanted to talk to you guys about too, just because, I mean, it wasn't super surprising to hear this news. And I feel like you could kind of see the writing on the wall leading up to this news. I mean, obviously the sales weren't there. I think they were showing like 50,000 sales for all vehicles, the S, the X, and the Cybertruck last year, as opposed to something like 1.6 million for the 3 and the Y. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. We know that Tesla is all in on the AI and robotics. And so utilizing that floor space and that manufacturing space makes a lot of sense. But when you're talking about 50,000 units sold between 3 vehicles, including the Cybertruck, it definitely begs the question, is the Cybertruck next? Is it going to get the axe? Are they going to eventually come up with a better reason to use that floor space for something else? The Cybercab, I think they just trademarked Cyber car and Cyber vehicle this past week. So I don't know. It's a very intriguing question.
Yeah, if anything, it shows like how serious they are about doubling down on the robotics, which totally makes sense. I know if you watching all the news that's been trickling out this week, one particular note that caught my eye was a potential merger with XAI and SpaceX. So I wouldn't be shocked if it's not just going to the consumer that they're building these robots for, but it's also for commercial and space exploration and all that they probably are. It could have been they didn't want to do this, but they really had to really kind of shift priorities. But my big question is what they would do with the Gigapress. I feel like if we hear that they're stopped using the Gigapress for the Cybertruck, the exo body, then yeah, I think the Cybertruck would be done. Or maybe downshifted quite heavily.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good point because they invested a lot of time and money into that gigapress, and its only real use is the Cybertruck, right? I mean, it's the only use for it. So that it is very interesting.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe an E-Rev, who knows? If they follow suit with, Dodge and Ford at this point.
I definitely think that if they want to really keep pushing the Cybertruck and they really want that to be a vehicle for the foreseeable future, which is not saying a lot because once again, the S and the X didn't even last 20 years, which is kind of crazy, then I think you need to do some major modifications to the Cybertruck as far as hitting on some of the things that you kind of promised in the beginning, range. I think the price point at some point has to come down, and I think it will eventually, but as of right now, I think they had 2 million pre-orders
initially, yeah,
and they haven't come anywhere near those numbers. So it's something that I'm sure they're looking at, and they're really considering what they're going to end up doing because you have to do something. That doesn't make a lot of sense. You had 2 million reservations and you're only, even call it 100,000. I mean, that's not a really good ratio there.
Maybe they'll get a big contract with the government, police, SWAT cars and stuff.
I mean, I could see it two ways. Of either this could be still more political backlash, at the case, because that's kind of where the turn happened with the Cybertruck. But I think best case scenario, like I said, is probably it's maybe a government contract or something that's going to push more need for those robots or even the robo taxis.
Well, yeah, I saw that post too about the fire truck now, Cybertruck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, as you can see, Lake Alfred in Florida, the fire department purchased a Tesla Cybertruck to operate as a brush truck.
Perfect use for it.
Yeah, it says it'll be equipped with a 150-gallon water tank to support firefighting. The Cybertruck will save the department $170,000 versus traditional gas brush truck, which costs $300,000. The Cybertruck will also be used as a command vehicle. This will be the first Cybertruck brush truck in the United States. The fire chief owns a Tesla himself, which played into the decision to buy a Cybertruck for $131,000 for the department. And then our good friends at Unplugged will be upfitting this vehicle for them.
Awesome.
I mean, I think for uses like this, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because the savings, because the vehicles that they're replacing cost so much money.
Mm-hmm.
But can the Cybertruck survive with this alone? I mean, they bought one truck, right? So, the whole United States would have to really get involved in this and start purchasing every county and city and all that type of stuff to really keep the Cybertruck alive. I think that Tesla needs to do something. I really do feel, because I don't want to see the Cybertruck go. I think it's a great vehicle. I enjoyed my time with my Cybertruck. I would love to get another one at some point, but I'm now starting to get worried that, now with the news of the S and X, that the Cybertruck might be next to go.
Mm-hmm. It's almost kind of funny with all the aftermarket trucks that are now going up for sale. It's almost like the prices are coming back up again. You're like, I know what I got because they saw the news with the X and X. I don't know. It'll be interesting. The only thing that makes me think of the fire truck is I really miss that HEPA filter anytime I'm behind a diesel truck in my Ford, because it makes a huge difference. But it's perfect for fire.
Yeah, that's what makes it perfect for fire. I think not only as a fire truck, for the forestry themselves, like all these situations, that a regular vehicle can't get in. You turn on that filter and it's what does it say? It's biohazard, right? It's like biohazard mode. Yeah, so it's a perfect. The problem I think with Tesla is that there's like very to little advertisement. I heard they were at KOH last year, and they didn't even show up this year.
Yeah, Tesla has been notorious for relying on us, guys like us, people on social media, owners of their vehicles, to really promote their vehicles, and it's worked. It's worked for the most part, but I think I think Chase hit it on the head. I think the political backlash of Elon, the timing of him, and then the Cybertruck release, it didn't go well. And I think just at the end of the day, I mean, we all own Cybertrucks, right? At one point, or you guys, Adeel and Jerry, still do. We talked to a lot of people that have either owned one or at least had a reservation for one. And whether you pulled the trigger and actually bought yours or not, everybody would agree the price point was disappointing because of what they promised, and the range was very disappointing. I mean, Jerry, you would be the first, I'm sure, to admit that you wish it had that 500-mile range.
100%.
You know,
100%.
and they gave us 300 and they charged us almost double. It just, you know, it's one of those things where I really don't want to see the Cybertruck go, and we're not saying it is going to go, but I get worried because Tesla just, you know, and they're not saying it's going to be, the S and X are going to be gone in a year or 2 years. They're saying in a matter of months. So Tesla is very good at just pivoting, moving very quick, and I think they're doing that right now with the S and X, and I hope that we don't find out news within the next year or so that they're going to do the same with the Cybertruck. Because, like I said, I really love the vehicle.
I think that's clear. If you look at how when they move with intention, that's exactly it. Like if you look at like how the Cybertruck even came about, like they were like announced it in 2019, and then they didn't even have the factory to build the truck yet.
Yeah, but
they were like on it. You know, the factory was built in record time, and now they had the means to do it. So yeah, I'm sure that there's an initiative there that they're trying to fill. I don't think it's like, hey, we need to cut costs.
No, it's they're running a business, right? And they're looking at it and they're saying, if we produce, you know, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but if we produced tens of thousands of S and X with this floor space, this manufacturing space, and they came out with the number of they could produce in that same space 1 million Optimus. I mean, the math tells you have to do that. And it doesn't make any sense to go spend billions of dollars to build a brand new factory for Optimus when you have the space there for two vehicles that really aren't selling. It makes all the sense in the world. I don't blame them for making the decision. I get worried about the Cybertruck. That's all.
Do you think this means we'll see the Roadster anytime soon?
Well, yeah. So that's actually a great segue there, because they just came out with, let me pull this up real quick. Here you go. Here's the new logo for the Roadster. Chase knows I've been very, very adamant that I never thought that the Roadster was ever going to be actually produced for purchase. I've always felt like they were just going to, you know, make a few of them, and some celebrities might get one, you know, Elon would drive one, and that's about it. And the reason why I felt that is because they have to give so many away for free to all of these influencers when they were running their referral program. There's some influencers that are going to get 2 of them for free. And I just went, how? Once again, business-wise, how? But, you know, clearly I'm wrong. And it looks like they're going to be moving forward. I don't think you would put out this logo, and I think they're trying to build some anticipation. I think it's also to get people excited because, yeah, the sad news of the S and X, but hey, you know, we got the Roadster coming, and there's a lot of people that have put down that $50,000 deposit and want their Roadster.
250.
I believe it's $250 for the purchase price. And it's a $50,000 deposit, from what I remember. So yeah, so it looks like, just based off the logo, I think this is just kind of lines up, you know, with the news of the S and X, and now, hey, look, the Roadster's coming, it gets people excited.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool, and I'm excited to see it. I would love to get in one day. That thing's going to be freaking crazy.
I do know somebody local that has, you know, money down for a reservation and not an influencer. So I need to reach back out to them and see when that starts to get traction, how that process goes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that'd be awesome if you could take that for a spin and Shoot some content with that. That'll be
Ironically,
fun.
it was the first time I also got to ride in a Cyber Beast because they had one too.
So this guy's he's got money.
They collect cars.
Okay. Well, beyond that, I wanted to talk about Jerry. You want to talk about where you just came from?
King of Hammers? Yeah, so I got like a kind of like a I wanted to go. I actually, to be honest with you, I'm gonna be frank. I actually wanted to compete in King of the Hammers, but then I slowly realized that I was lacking sponsors. I was gonna rip through tires on the rocks, and I talked to a couple of people that have done it, and they basically advised me not to do it. Even though I have the armor, even though I have a lot of modifications. I have my winch. I have my steel bumpers. They said that it was just not a good idea. So I kind of got bummed out, and then I said I'm not gonna go. But then I saw a post on I think I saw it on Next. One of you guys shared it about the Cybershock, and it was like a whole new.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! I gotta go look at this in person. I have to see this. I need this. I was wanting to take it off and put it into my truck. So it was at King of the Hammers. Bill Sting shocks. Um, produced well, we already know that our Cybertrucks have Bilsting shocks, but I was trying to explain to Adeel that when Bilsting manufactured these shocks for the Cybertruck, they were on Elon's time frame, right? So they've had an extra 3 years to make it Bilsting 2.0 better. And I actually talked to one of the gentlemen there, and what he told me really blew me away. He's basically saying that it's gonna handle like my Raptor with the suspension, and I am very excited. I have that video. I don't know if I shared that video with you, but it's pretty exciting as a Cybertruck owner, especially off road. To be able to go against the whoops with that, with those internal bypasses, and I mean, it's. I could talk about it all day. So that's why I decided to go for a quick turnaround, and I was lucky enough to enter the Optima Oasis. It's like a EV challenge, and I thought it was just a couple of trucks. Man, it's a big dog and pony show, man. Optima really they got choppers and helicopters, and I mean it's a really big thing, man. From what I saw, I was very impressed. They had like 5 basically superchargers. They're 50 kilowatts, but in the middle of the desert, that's lightning fast, And surprisingly, we went out for the video you just showed. We went out for a trail. There was some rock. There was some pretty. My terrestrial armor took a couple hits, and if you don't believe me, Kyle from Out of Spec, he caused some damage to that Chevy that he took. But that Chevy, the EV, that one doesn't have any air suspension, so he was limited to travel, right? So that's where I think it's in this video. I show the Chevy right there. It's coming up right now, right there. I turned a little bit to the left, but anyhow, yeah, it was pretty amazing though. There's that Chevy right there. It's a really nice experience. I think I'm gonna try to shoot to gather some other because we were outnumbered, man. Must have been like 50 Rivians, and there was only like 3 Cybertrucks. So no Hummers either, Eric. So open invitation. I promise I'll help you with the tires if you get a flat.
I mean, he said it,
Jerry,
right?
that if I go out there, I'm gonna run into some type of tire issue. You know that. You know that.
That's why I'm bringing it up.
I know.
Every time. But hey,
never fails.
You're not off-roading if you don't break something. So
it's a good point. I was gonna give you a compliment, but not after that comment. I was gonna call out all of the Whistling Diesel not Diesel Brothers, but the Heavy D Sparks and Jerry Rig, all these guys that have like really busted up trucks really good, and the fact that your truck is still running with minimal damage goes to show that you have some experience off road, which is the
Well,
key.
well, yeah, I definitely have some scratches. I mean, I think that Kyle might have gotten a couple of shots where I ran over some rocks, you know, and I basically slid right over them. I couldn't film myself because obviously I'm driving, but we're gonna figure that out. Maybe I need to put some sort of GoPro down there or something, so I can actually show you guys. But I mean, the truck did really well. The Rivians did really good too. But I think that they were shocked how high I was able to climb that particular dune because in that sea of Rivians, they had like quad motors and they were all like trying to flex the 1,000 horsepower, and I'm just a dual motor, and I was getting up there, you know. What do we have, like 640 horsepower? You know, six something.
Which I mean, I guess that's a good question if you wanted to chat about some of your settings, because I know you obviously have aftermarket tires. You probably aired those down as well. So let's chat through.
So I think that's one of the key things. None of those guys had any beadlocks. So one of the things for me, I think it's especially in sand, actually, and in rock, and for KOH, it's perfect. Like beadlocks is absolutely like the first. If you want to off road, you know, not just a Cybertruck, any truck, a Chevy, a Rivian, whatever, Ford, beadlocks is kind of like the number one thing, the best upgrade you can do to your vehicle, so that you limit, you know, slip. You're not gonna get flat tires like Eric. It just you know, it's a big one, you know. So, or a deal, yeah, or a deal, yeah. You could ask a deal. Go ahead, a deal, jump in.
Oh my God. I blew off my tire like more than 10 times, I'm sure. Right? I mean, me and Jerry, we would go to Glamis and we're just dooning around. And the moment, because you know, when you air down a lot and you take a turn, that's when your tire just, you know, pops off the bead immediately. So there was sometimes we would be in like middle of the dunes, we're dooning, and then we would go from one dune to another and boom, right there. And then now you're stuck, you're moving the sand and putting the bead back on. Ever since we got bead lock, it's game changer, man. I would not go off road without bead lock. That's how much confidence that this
Oh
thing
yeah,
gave me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I've
So
been completely flat. Completely flat. Like the tires have been completely trashed, and I still managed to drive back to camp on because of the beadlock. It holds the whatever's left, and then you're able to at least get back to camp. So
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, to be fair, I'm trying to. I gotta defend myself a little bit,
that's a
okay?
very nice
So,
shot, though. Very nice
so
shot.
I had my tires
Jesus.
aired down, right? I'm doing turns like this, and
In your
I think
defense, you're also 3,000 pounds heavier.
I am 3,000 pounds. You know,
That's a lot. That's like a Honda Civic. It's like if I put a Honda Civic on top of my truck.
He's lost at least 1,000 pounds. Come on,
Jerry, come on.
Thanks for
It's
noticing.
the holiday. It's the holiday weight, okay? It's the holiday weight. I'm working on it, okay? But yeah, no, like Adeel said, yeah, when you're out there in the sand and you air down to try to, you know, make it easier to traverse the sand, and then you start doing some crazy turns or whatever, you know, the tires come off. So
yeah,
that's something that happens. But talking about Glamis, talking about the sand, you went viral this past week, Jerry, or last 2 weeks, I guess you could say. Let me pull it up real quick. You were in Glamis with the deal.
Oh yeah.
And you guys ran into a non-EV who got into some trouble. Why don't you guys talk about that as we're showing the video?
Go ahead, Adeel. You're the narrator on this one, anyways.
yeah, so I mean, we pulled up to this one, and there was this truck right here was trying to be pulled by a F-150, and that guy was like trying to pull him out, but he couldn't even move it. Like his truck wouldn't do anything, so he was worried that he was gonna get stuck. So when we pulled up, Gary's like, "Oh, I'll pull this out." I'm like, "Okay, I'll go film it." So I took out my phone. So when I'm filming this, I'm actually telling the guy, I'm like, "Yeah, Ford couldn't do it," and the guy's like standing right next to me.
He's right next to yeah.
So I told him what it is. I mean, I know the Ford won't be able to. And I
Well,
told the guy, I'm
I
like,
told
watch.
him. Yeah, I told him when I pulled up because I saw that he was trying to yank him. We didn't get a video of that, so it was another I think it was an F-150, but it was 4x4. And he was hooked up to this truck, the dually. And then I pulled up, right next to him, and then I told him, "You ain't gonna do it with that. I know I had a Raptor. I know how much power they have." And then he's like, "I told him, but I was gonna try anyways." And then that's what Deal's talking about. He's like, "No, say Ford can't do it," but it was messed up because the guy was right next to him, and he actually filmed it if you pay attention.
Yeah. I
But
mean, I told her what it
here's a
is.
longer clip. Yeah, and
Wow.
that's like a 40-foot trailer,
Yeah,
right?
I put on
Triple
X. I put
tire.
it was 30 foot to be gentle, but I think it's a 40 foot, and
No,
he had
that's
2 side by sides inside.
yeah, no, that's that, and he's got a dually. That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of weight.
I wonder
And
though if
this
the mass difference makes a big difference, because obviously the F-150 is not that heavy, but like this is literally you had more momentum from that Cybertruck because you get more weight.
well, that's a good point. So we did use a kinetic rope, right? So these ropes
Mhm.
are basically like I tell everybody, it has like some sort of like stretch or bungee, if you will. So it connects, it stores that energy, but it doesn't give you that yank that you usually get with a
It doesn't
stiffer.
stop out.
It doesn't stop out. So in that pool, but the Cybertruck does have a lot of torque. We cannot, nobody can deny that. Nobody can
100%.
deny that. I was going to do 100%. But I did change my settings for this particular pool. So what I did was I put it in overland, and then I put it, all my diff locks, and then I just did it in regular high. Because the higher you put your truck, especially in the Cybertruck, the less power it gives. So if you have it on low and you have all your diff locks on, you basically get your full power to the ground. And then I did full throttle it, and I yanked them out, and I just yanked them out, and it doesn't show. Adeel didn't catch the very end. I pulled him out where he wanted, and then he got stuck again.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you guys, that same guy. I told him, "Is this good?" He's like, "Yeah, you want me to pull you out more?" He's like, "No, I could make it from here." And then he got stuck again. And I was like, "Oh God."
Do a lot of people bring dualies out with that kind of trailer? Because that feels like that's okay.
That
It
is
seems
a
like
very,
that's the wrong choice for that kind of sand, regardless.
no. I mean, there's probably a lot of things this guy could have done different. I learned. I'm not gonna laugh because it happened. This particular situation happens to anybody that's ever gone to Glamis with
Mhm.
a similar setup. I've gotten stuck with my Raptor and the toy hauler. So this. If you look right there in that particular angle, there's a whole bunch of those trailers. Every single one of those trailers got pulled in just like that. But you do it once. So when you learn the hard way, you learn to air everything down, the trailer, everything. And then once you air it down, you just gotta make sure and you have to gun it. You can't. I mean, basically, it's full throttle the whole way, and you kind of have to have already a course. Like, oh, I'm gonna drive through here. I'm gonna make a turn here and wide turn, and and then usually that's what Damas is all about. Everybody will help, and then that's why I offer to help. So
Awesome.
but it was actually really cool that Elon Musk reposted. I saw Cybertruck reposted it the night before, and then Elon reposted it like the next day or something.
Yeah,
So that was
yeah.
cool.
Really cool.
Yeah, and so talking about that, I mean,
But by the way, what I'm gonna interrupt you real quick, so Eric.
no, you're
I
fine.
only had 7% of battery when I did that pull.
Wow.
Yeah, if you see the end of the battery, the end of the video, Adeel zooms in on the screen. I had literally we had just came back from
Yeah.
Duning for hours, and we literally I had 7%, and that's the beautiful thing about the EV vehicles, that they'll basically give you like 90% of power until it's basically nothing left.
So what happened exactly? So you guys were coming back from Duning, and you just drove by these guys, or did they flag
Yeah,
you down? How did that?
No, so we were coming back, and I saw them. I saw them from far, and I could tell I've been coming here for years. See right there, that's where he got stuck again. It doesn't show it after we stopped recording, but yeah, he was already stuck again right there. But anyhow, I saw the other F-150, and then I saw him tugging on him, and that's why I drove right up to him, and I told him, "Hey man, you want me to pull it?" And because that ain't gonna do it. I told him to his face, in a nice way, you know. I mean, I've been trying to be helpful, right? Everybody wants to be helpful, but yeah, no, and nobody's gonna turn down help, especially the guy that's stuck, right?
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so you know, I mean, I made a believer out of that guy. He told me afterwards, "Hey man, I did not think that that
I
those
was
things
just
have that much power."
It's the best.
Yeah, I know. No, he's super. He's like, I would have not thought, man. And this is a case. I just saw a video. I think I shared it with Adeel just today. I think somebody posted a video about us. So little by little, we're making believers out of people, man. And I'm sure after you see a whole bunch of these videos from KOH, there's gonna be some more believers. You know, I actually ran into this guy on Instagram. His name's All American Sender, and he has this really nice truck with it. I think he just broke a world record. I met the guy, and then they wanted me to jump. And I told him, dude, I'm kind of scared, man. You know what I mean? Because this guy jumped like 30, 40 feet in the air, man, like nothing, right? But he told me just take it easy, 20, 25, 35, 40, and then, you know, but I didn't I wasn't prepared. I didn't take a lot of tools. To me, I really just wanted to go to check out that truck, to check out the shocks, and turn around. You know, I have to work the next day. So, no, it just, I didn't have tools. If I break my truck, eventually I will. I've been very, very lucky. For as many times as I've jumped this truck, I'm surprised it hasn't broken yet. But, you know, it was a nice experience.
don't jinx it, man.
Shout out double cap gripping.
Yeah. Environmental Canadian 2338 says hello from Canada. Gentlemen, great discussion. Cheers, Calvin. So thank you, Calvin. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Kel.
But yeah, so like I think Chase already kind of asked, but like, so if somebody was going to go to the sand dunes, you guys are probably the most experienced Cybertruck owners that I know of for sure. And I would say probably with sand, probably the most experienced Cybertruck owners in sand, probably in the world. Let's be real. What are your recommendations? What are the settings? What, like, if let's pretend a new person is going out with you and they're in their Cybertruck and they ask you, what do I need to do? I know you touched on beadlocks, but beyond just equipment wise, you have your stock Cybertruck. What are we doing? What are we doing? We're going to air down, right?
You're going to air down. You're going to put it in off-road mode, Baja. If it's an all-wheel drive, rear diff locks. If it's a beast, then I guess you put your diff locks as well, right, Adeel? You would agree? Because we both have all-wheel drives. And other than that, I would strongly suggest not to do donuts in soft sand if you don't have beadlocks. Number one.
Well, I would agree.
Yeah, because that's gonna whether you're aired down or not, it's gonna pop that bead, you know. So
Yep.
that's a key. Don't do
Yeah.
donuts. You could do them on hard packed dirt, but the donuts, even hard turns. Adeel's knocked out 2 tires in one turn.
Even hard turns,
Oh,
yeah.
but my wife was doing donuts.
That's right. Oh, okay. Well, let's blame it on the wife.
Well, even Eric, didn't you have a story when you went out to the lake bed that someone
Which
wasn't there a
one?
flat tire?
Which
it was
story?
early on, because I thought there was someone that had a flat tire out on that lake bed.
No, his oh, I know what you're talking about. That's Dan, Jerry. Remember when we went to the first Cyber Odyssey?
Yes, sir.
And his beast just took a shit. I don't even know exactly what happened, but yeah, he had to be towed out of there. That wasn't fun.
Yeah, exercise fun caution is the whole point.
I think that was his tire, though. I think he
No,
had
it
an
wasn't his
inverter
tire.
problem.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I remember now. It just all came back to me. His half shaft, this bolt came off, and it started making like a grinding noise. There's a bolt in the center of the hub, and that basically splines everything together from your hub to your half shaft. And then that bolt, that's actually happened to me. But I just tightened it up, and I kept going. I'm assuming that there was no Loctite installed, or just the torque. These trucks have so much torque, we're still learning. It doesn't really damage nothing, but you do get this horrendous like grinding noise, that was the case with that at the lake bed. But also doing donuts, just like in real life, are bad for you.
Doing stupid shit like this.
Yeah, in moderation.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
In moderation, yeah. Like that's nice. That's a very nice feeling.
I didn't even bring it up because I didn't want to like put the guy's name out, but I was thinking about you, Jerry and Adeel this week because there was a guy in one of the owners groups on Facebook that he posted his Raptor R that he was jumping, and his wife got a Cybertruck, and now he's like all on board Cybertruck. He likes his Raptor R still, but he's like, but it's so much more fun to drive.
Yeah, so that's actually a very. I mean, I can feel that 100% because I've had a Raptor, I've had the Dodge TRX, and I love the torque, the instant torque that the Cybertruck has. I just there's no other feeling out there like that, I did go on a ride on a Rivian. I didn't get to quite test drive one, but I went on a ride along, and it does they did the tank turn. They don't call it tank
The battles.
So
Rivian's a very capable truck. It's just too small for me.
Same. I totally agree.
Because remember, I got extra 3,000 pounds over here, so
plus the family.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Like I wish the R1T was a full size truck from the beginning. I think I get why they did it. I wish the SUV was a full size SUV. Like that totally would have held on to it. Yeah, because otherwise you're just stuck throwing a rack and putting everything up top.
Yeah. It's a great vehicle, a really capable off road. So yeah, I mean that's why you see them, so many of them. I mean, look, Jerry was just talking about how when he was at KOH, there was a million of them out there. So
speaking of
Rivian, reason for that.
A really quick thing, because we had the freeze that happened this last couple of weeks in Austin, so we got a ton of ice. So it was really fun because I was really excited to see how the Ford Lightning would do in the ice. And I'm talking about like this is not snow. It's like it was just a pure sheet of ice. All of the roads were just ice. But it was a lot of fun in an interesting way because I was able to kind of feel out how it would drive. Like obviously you can't go over 15 to 20 miles an hour anyways. But it was really cool to see how myself in a Lightning, I met another guy in an R1T. I mean, plenty of Teslas were all out on the ice, just traveling fine. You were able to get around, whereas I feel like in a gas vehicle is much more difficult, even in four-wheel drive. I think the fact that, extra weight on ice was a huge difference. In the regen braking, like I feel like I was able to slow my vehicle down without hitting the brakes, which was pivotal to not actually slide on the ice. So really, really fun little experiment. I don't have any like cool videos or anything because I was white knuckling it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I don't blame you. So Adeel and Jerry, going back to the sand dunes. So we talked about settings. We talked about airing down. Now, what about when you're out there maneuvering in sand? You want to talk about that because there's a technique and a way to do it. There's the right way and a wrong way, right? Can you talk about traversing in the sand and how all that works? Braking, acceleration, maneuverability, how to maneuver through the dunes. You want to talk about that?
Go for it, Adeel. You got this now.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jerry's the expert on that, but yeah, I mean, if for Cybertruck, if you take it out to the sand, like you'll see the whoops and how to go over that. Just don't go too fast. One thing in the settings, I actually want to just remember, because I've seen that mistake on other people's video on the Cybertruck, that they would put it on the highest setting because they think, oh, they might bottom out or they might hit something, but it's actually the other way around, because the higher your Cybertruck gets, the slower it becomes. And most people don't realize it until you get stuck, and then you're like, oh, why I don't have power in full clearance mode? It's because the truck limits the power. So if you're out there in Baja, put it in like, rugged mode, it's pretty good. But if you need to get speed and if you're going up like a steep hill or something, I've noticed that smooth works out the best. With Smooth, we were able to go up like the Olds Hill, like no problem. And some of those steep hills that I've noticed, I would say, just remember to just kind of remember to like play with it and know your truck. Like you have to know, like, hey, if I go too fast, my back might jump up or hit the side. It can cause damage. So yeah, that's why you have to really feel the truck. You have to know, okay, it's going down and going up. Just feel it. Don't push where you could break a suspension or some component of your truck. You just have to kind of understand the vehicle. So the Cybertruck is great in tuning. Like we've been to me and Jerry together. Like we went on off season, went to China Wall, which was the steepest hill in Glamis. And like it's the way we were able to do it. It's obviously he's
We
the expert.
almost made it a couple weeks ago, but somebody got stuck.
Well, so that route that we took to China Wall from the back, I never heard about what is Razorback and all this stuff until that day.
It was
And then
bad. It was really bad.
it was bad. I mean, there's these things called Witch's Eye, which it's like a Dune language. So people are probably thinking, what is Witch's Eye? Witch's Eye is basically, it's like a sand bowl. And what happens is when you get into the middle of the bowl, you can't get out of it. It's just a bowl. Oh yeah, there it is. So yeah, if you fall in one of these bowls, now whoever's gonna pull you out has to be heavier than you, or else he's gonna pull himself into the hole too. So that becomes another issue. Luckily, in this scenario, you know, if it wasn't for Jerry, probably would still be out there. So, like, yeah, that shot is nice too, up in the dune. So when the truck got stuck, Jerry's like, "Okay, I'll pull you out from the back." And he went around. He circled, and when he came back up, he drops like his front two tire right there, and he's now bottomed down and stuck too. So I'm already
Yeah, so
stuck, and
I
then
got stuck trying to save him. Which
he
worked out in the end, by the way, but yeah.
yeah, it worked out because that's how we were able to like you were able to pull me because you were stuck, so it was heavier, and then it worked out the other way around when you unstuck me. I pulled the brake and pulled you out, so it was great.
It's funny because just looking at the video, it looks so majestic. You're like, you wouldn't even know that anything was going wrong. It just looks nice.
Right here, what he's showing right now, this was perfect. This is doable. What Eric was talking about maneuvering and all that, if you pay attention to this video, I call it like a snake motion. You ride the dune. You have to go back and forth. And sometimes if you can't make it up the dune, like see right there, Deal's sliding a little bit to the left, sometimes you won't make it up. So you actually have to make a full circle and maybe a figure eight to come back around the other way. So there's definitely a way to maneuver out in the dunes. And that's something that you learn little by little, but it's definitely I wouldn't call it challenging, but it's definitely this is expert level. Obviously there's some way easier dunes. We're deep into the dunes. What Adeel was talking about where we got stuck, see right here, there's not really no witch's eyes over there where we tried to go. You would 20 feet, every 20 feet there was a witch. We had a side by side with us. He couldn't find an exit. There were so many of those witch's eyes, and in a side by side. So if he struggled to get out, imagine a full size 8,000 pound truck or two of us, and that's actually what happened. But we were fortunate. Everything, we had a little bit of a moment because when he was stuck and I was stuck. But the main thing is to always keep calm too. There's always a way out. But like Adeel said, I managed to pull him out, and then once he was out, I told him to step on the brakes, and we're gonna upload that video here pretty soon. I've been a little busy.
I think right here is a perfect example how you could see the back of the truck is leaning down to the right, and the front is pointing up, and I think that's part of that experience level of knowing how to maneuver the dunes, because it's obviously, like you said, you guys are in deep into the dunes, somewhere where a novice really shouldn't be.
Probably not. Yes.
But it's something that, I think is very interesting, because I've been out there with you guys, not that deep, but I've been to Glamis with you guys in my Cybertruck when I had mine, and I remember having that feeling of the back end of your truck is wanting to go one way and you're trying to go a different direction. And obviously that was the very first time I've ever been to sand dunes at that time, but I felt like I learned fairly quick in a very basic, easy setting. But it's definitely something that you have to learn once you're out there. It's pretty though.
Yeah. So the truck is absolutely 100% capable. Anybody with a stock truck can do it. I did it. Me and Adeel did it. But we did have. So it's like a pros and cons, right? You have to air down to get traction, but if you air down, you can also pop a beat. So you have to pick your poison. You're always going to go with the airing down, and that's why I bring up now trying to limit hard turns and donuts to almost zero, because you can do hard donuts and all that in the hard pack, but when you're aired down in the sand it just stops the truck, and it just, luckily they don't have a big rollover, because of the center of gravity of the truck holds it down, which brings me to another topic, braking. So there is one thing that I've learned, and the first time it happened to me, I really freaked out. So I went on top of one of those big dunes, which is that one of them's called Oldsmobile. And the very first time that I came down, I thought I lost my brakes. I mean, I thought I was gonna die. You know what I mean? I would step on the brake, and the more I would step on it, the harder it got, and I wouldn't stop. So what I think, the truck is almost too smart for itself. I think what happens is it applies a anti-lock for you, and it basically, because of your ratio that the truck is going, and
Keep
if
on
it
going.
feels that if it feels that it's still moving, it's like, dude, I'm giving it everything I got. So the best case scenario to do, and this is kind of really important, and I know it's hard, if you are in a Cybertruck and you step on the brakes and you're descending, on whether you're on sand, rock, or anything, if you feel that the brakes are not working, let go of the brake and then give the accelerator a tap and then brake again. Because if you just keep your foot on the brake, it's not gonna brake. It's just gonna keep going. I don't know if I explained that right to you guys. You guys want to, give your 2 cents
Yeah,
on that?
yeah. I mean, this also happened to me as well on China Wall when we were there. Like, I'm holding on to my brake and it's not doing anything, and my car keeps moving, and I'm like, oh shoot, I'm on a very very steep hill. China Wall is no joke. It just keeps sliding. I'm like, oh, I lost my brake. I'm gonna crash. But the moment I let go and I used my accelerator, and then I came back to the brake, it was there. It was working fine. So I told that to Jerry, and Jerry said, yeah, he's been through exactly what he mentioned, is what he told me, that on old going down, the brake pedal just becomes really stiff. And the more you hold
Really
on, it
stiff.
doesn't, yeah, and it doesn't do anything. It
Nothing.
just keeps, your
Nothing.
truck is moving.
Yeah, I think that time that I went out with you guys that I was talking about earlier, I was trying to climb one of the hills. Once again, it's not China Wall. It was probably a beginner. I don't know. You guys could tell me if you guys remember. But I was trying to go up it and I didn't make it. I start sliding down, and same thing. I hit my brakes because it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Your natural instinct is hit your brakes, and it doesn't do anything. You just keep going. So yeah, it's definitely a scary moment when you're in it, when it's happening to you, because you don't know. It's unnatural, right?
It is unnatural, and if you just gotta keep your head on, and like I said, the main thing is, if you're going uphill and you stop, is to try to keep straight and then back down straight. Right? You're not gonna try to, from a zero standpoint, you're not gonna try to turn, because then that could become a problem, and then you could have a rollover status. Right? So the same applies if you're backing down. Try to keep your front wheels to keep you straight. and it's kind of hard to explain that. But if you get an idea, I think I have a video where we did some sort of demonstration at we just went over this at KOH, so I might send that over to you. So it's a scary thing. And then I know there's some people recently I saw a post about a guy rolled over, so that's why I wanted to bring up the brakes, because that's kind of important, and I kind of learned the hard way. Nothing happened, but I have learned from that mistake that the best thing to do is hit the accelerator. And I mean, I'm talking about a millisecond. As soon as the truck recognizes their signal that you do want to go, the brakes come back, if you will. So
Makes sense. At the end of the day, it's a computer, right? So you're just
yes.
you're communicating with the computer. Essentially is what we're doing here. We have another comment from Calvin. Calvin says, doing donuts on a sandy beach sounds like fun. In Toronto, Canada, it's the middle of winter, no sand until spring. Donuts in the snow, however, are lots of fun. The Cybertruck is awesome in the snow. I've taken my Cybertruck up to the mountains in the snow and didn't do anything crazy, but that was a lot of fun. But you could get into some scary situations in the mountains and snow too. I was on the side of a mountain and there wasn't much room between the edge of the mountain and my tires, so it gets a little sketchy sometimes.
That's exciting.
Do you go to the mountains much, Jerry and Adeel? With the in the snow? You guys seem like desert guys.
No. It's on our to-do list, but we live here in real Southern California. We have to drive several hours to get to the snow, which it is on our list though. It is on our list. So
Yeah.
Adeel's got it all planned out, man. We're gonna do snow. We're gonna do everything, man. So
I think for snow, Lake Tahoe area
That'd
near
be
like that
beautiful.
Rubicon Trail area, like that area
Big
is
Bear.
nice. Big Bear.
That would be nice. That's
Yeah,
when
but
I bring the sexy voice.
Oh
You have sexy Grok talk to you all the way up to Big Bear.
Yeah.
maybe we could do the Rubicon in the snow. That would be impressive.
Yeah, I'm not trying to die.
The only thing would be the hole somewhere in between the rock that the snow is covered and we didn't see.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. Yeah, but I
Definitely.
think the Rubicon it's a different challenge, but it's been done with a Cybertruck. It's just it didn't get out in one piece on the other side.
No.
But it's been done. So yeah, with proper tires and suspension, like what Bill Stein is working on right now, something like that, and bigger tires. I think Rubicon, if done right, properly, with someone like Jerry goes out there like with experience. I think it's doable. It's possible.
Jerry and a lot of extra parts in a trail vehicle, I think would
support.
Yeah, you definitely need a team, because that's Rubicon is no joke. But if anyone could do it in a Cybertruck, I put my money on one man.
Yeah, Jerry would definitely be the one. And I carry tie rod ends, like in my truck all the time. So
do you really?
Jerry, no, for reals, I do. I even have the right tool to open it and seal it back up, because if you're out in the desert and your tie rod breaks, what do you do? So
we still haven't needed one yet.
Yes, thank you.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. Rubicon most likely would really cause that.
Well, before we close out the show, or is there anything else you guys want to talk about as far as sand dunes, settings, anything like that?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything. Oh, go ahead, Jace. We both use Martian wheels. They were designed specifically for the Cybertruck.
Now, I'm glad Chase brought that up. What about tires? There's so many different brands of tires. What tires do you guys run? Yeah, what tires do you guys run?
So I run the BF Goodrich KO3s, and KO3s it's pretty good. It's like kind of like they're not too noisy, and they're still off-road capable. They're still, you can go in the snow, you can go in the sand, and it does impact your range, because they're not as smooth as regular street tires are. But the capability with the KO3s, or even off-road tires in general, it really unlocks all the trails that you can imagine. So I know Jerry has even better tires.
Well, I have the BF Goodrich as well, but I have the mud terrains, the Baja Champions, and
Mhm.
I've always been a KO3 on everything, on my Jeeps, on my Raptor, everything, always KO3. But I knew that the Cybertruck was going to have a lot of torque, and eventually I knew I was going to take it to test in Glamis. And I thought that it probably would help because I knew that I couldn't get paddles right away. And I thought that being that had that more aggressive bite on it, on the tire, that it would actually help. And I think for the most part, I have nothing against the Kill 3s. I love the Kill 3s. That's like my go-to tire. But I also wanted to, do some stuff in the muds. So they're a little different, they're a little louder, a deal, pros and cons to everything, right? So they're both good tires. I don't have a problem with either or at this point.
Okay. I just, I think a lot of people ask, right? A lot of people
Right.
ask, hey, I want to, even if they have no idea or plans to go out off-roading, but people, I used to get that question a lot. What tires do you guys do you run?
Mhm.
So that's why I figured you guys are actually out there doing this stuff, actually using the tires for what they're meant to be used for. And I think that's great information for anybody that's listening or watching. But before we close out the show, we want to introduce a new segment to the show. And it's called Grok Unhinged. What we want to do is kind of bring a comment from, one of our social media channels, because we get a lot of positive. I would say probably 90%, 95% of it is positive, but we always get the one or two guys that don't like EVs, don't like Cybertrucks, don't like Elon, don't like us, don't like whatever, don't like themselves. I don't know. And so they'll leave a comment, and so we're gonna pull a comment every week and just kind of let Grok respond to that comment. So we have Jerry in his Cybertruck, and he's got Grok pulled up. And go ahead, Jerry. Let Grok take over now.
Which one was the comment?
Let me pull it up. As a matter of fact, here we go.
Go ahead and read it out loud. I'll see if Grok can respond directly to you.
Grok, what would be your response to somebody leaving a comment on my YouTube page stating, "Nice try, Elon, but your cars suck"?
Oh, I'd fucking roast that bitch into oblivion. Yeah, says the cum-guzzling keyboard warrior who's probably riding a 1998 Schwinn to his mom's basement every fucking day. Your mom's back to sucking on your energy drink cans and pretending your life ain't a flaming pile of dog shit. Meanwhile, these sucky cars are out here doing donuts around your entire miserable existence, self-driving to places you'll never afford. Hey, at least when you crash, nobody will notice the difference.
God.
Savage.
Savage.
Pretty savage, man. Unhinged is something
Savage.
else, man. Unhinged is way out there.
She took it to a whole other level at the end. Huh?
Yeah, it gets dark very quickly. I'll put it to you that way.
Oh my gosh. Jeez. Well, hey,
And with that,
on that note, it was a great show. But yeah, that's a new segment we're introducing, something that we want to do. We just want to have fun with it. So, hey, what can I say? They left the comment, and that's the consequence. Grok is
Didn't even
going on.
respond. It was the.
It was Grok.
it's not
Grok.
us saying it.
Yeah,
We didn't say
I
it.
didn't say anything.
Yeah, the car responded back, right?
Yeah, we're giving a chance for the car to defend itself. Yeah,
Yep.
Exactly.
That's all it
100%.
is. That's all it is. The gentleman clearly stated the cars suck. Well, Grok is part of the car, and Grok takes offense to that. So we let Grok respond. Who are we to speak on behalf of the vehicles? So on that note, gentlemen, it was a great show. Thank you guys very much. We will be back in 2 weeks, live 2 weeks. We're going to be doing it every other week. So I think in 2 weeks, we'll have a whole other discussion about the Cybertruck and different experiences that Adeel and Jerry have gone through, and something that they could share with everybody. And now we're getting comments in the chat about Grok, and it's
Love
Hey,
it.
Eric, remember I got a watch to give away.
oh,
from
hey,
our
there
good
you go.
friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't let me
Yeah.
forget. Okay, before we go. So Jerry has, he has these
It's like a cyber watch.
It's a watch that connects, a smartwatch that connects to your phone. Android though, right? I think it's Android, or is it connected to iPhone as well?
You know what? It connected to one of my phones that automatically connected. I don't even know which one. Yeah,
Okay,
it might
so
be both.
watch that's it's stainless steel, right? It has the shape of a Cybertruck. We're going to be giving one of these away. So what should people do? Just leave down in the comment giveaway.
Giveaway.
And make sure you're subscribed to all of our channels, all of our social media. How about if we have everybody do giveaway on everybody's social media, and that gives them extra chances to win? Can we
Sure.
do that?
Cool. Pull.
Sure.
And then Jerry, we'll make the announcement at the next episode. Is that how we're going to do it? Okay. And then we'll draw a name, and
We have
somebody
more
will
than
win.
one though. We have more than one, so make sure to leave a lot of comments and then share the stream, guys. We're trying to wrap this back up, and we got a lot of plans too. So
Yeah, we have a lot of. I mean, Jerry, like we talked about, came from a King of Hammers just today, just now, literally
yeah,
just got back.
pretty much.
There's a lot of events and things that we want to do. I mean, look, Adeel is at the Tesla Diner. We want to do some in-person meetups and different events. So yeah, comment, share, like, subscribe. Go to everybody's social media. I always leave everybody's social media down in the description. So if you want to find Adeel, you want to find Jerry, you want to find Chase, and talk to them, all that information will be down below. So thank you guys. Appreciate you. Appreciate everybody that joined us live. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Peace, everybody. Be safe.